Good day, everyone. This is Jenny's Fashion Channel. Thanks to all my amazing fans and subscribers. This channel is all about leveling up on your fashion designing skill. And today, I'm going to teach you how to cut this beautiful halter neck bustier. So if it is what you are all about, you are definitely at the right place. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, now will be a very good time for you to smash on the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a new video. Without further ado, let's jump right in, shall we? The first thing is to draw a line as my baseline. Then I'm going to get my neck curve, and I'm using 3 inches for my neck width and 3 inches for my neck depth. I will mark and I'm going to connect like so. Then I'm going to come up by 1.5 inches diagonally. I will mark and I'm going to connect to get a perfect round curve. Then I'm going to take my shoulder measurement divided by 2. I'm going to mark it. Then from the shoulder point, I'm going to come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. I will mark it and I'm going to connect it to the neck width like so. Then the next thing is to get my armhole depth. And for me to get my armhole depth, I'm going to take my bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. I'm going to mark it and I'm going to connect like so. Then I will draw a horizontal line from those points as my chest line. Then I will add half an inch joining allowance on the shoulder line. I will mark and I'm going to connect like so, though this part is not necessary for those dress. Then I will get my vertical measurement. I'm going to come down by 10 inches for my bust line. I will mark and I will draw the line. Then the next thing is to get the underbust line, and for me to get the underbust line, I'm going to come down by 3.5 inches from the bust line. But if you're of a bigger size, you'll come down by 4 inches. If you're of a smaller size, you'll come down by 3 inches. I will mark and I will draw the line. Then I'm going to come down by 16.5 inches for my half cut line, and I'm going to add half an inch for joining allowance. I will mark and draw the lines. Then I will take my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2 plus half an inch for joining. I will mark it and I'm going to connect it straight down to the joining allowance line like so. Then the next thing is to get my underbust dart. And for me to get my underbust dart, I'm going to take the difference between the bust line and the underbust line, and I have 3.5 inches there. So I'm going to divide it by 2. It will give me 1.75 inches. I will divide 1.75 inches by 2 again. It will give me 0.88 inch. So I'm going to take 0.88 inch to the left and 1.75 inches to the right. Then I'm going to come down by 1 inch from the bust point. This is to remove any form of pointiness on the bust area. I will mark and I'm going to connect to the underbust dart like so. Then I will connect the underbust dart straight down to the joining allowance line like so. Then the next thing is to get my armhole curve. And for me to get my armhole curve, I'm going to get the midpoint of this my armhole line. I will mark it. Then from the point, I'm going to go in by half an inch. I will mark it. Then on the chest line, I'm going to take my bust measurement divided by 4. I will mark it on the chest line. Then I'm going to connect these 3 points like so. Then the next thing is to get where my princess dart will fall. So I'm going to measure this my armhole curve, and I have about 9 inches there. So I'm going to get the midpoint of 9 inches. It will give me 4.5 inches. I'm going to mark it and connect it to the bust point like so. Then from those points, I'm going to go up by half an inch and go down by half an inch. I will mark and connect to the bust point like so. Then for the halter neck effect, I'm going to connect this my neck weight to the chest line measurement point like so. Then I will take my horizontal measurement. On the chest line, I'm going to add 2 inches for joining allowance. On the bust line, I'm going to take my bust measurement divided by 4 plus 2 inches for joining allowance. I will mark it. On the underbust line, I'm going to take my underbust measurement divided by 4. I'm going to replace this dart intake here plus 2 inches for joining allowance. I will mark it. Then on the half cut line, I'm going to take my waist measurement divided by 4. I'm going to replace this dart intake here, plus 2 inches for joining allowance. I will mark it and mark the same thing on the joining allowance line like so. Then I'm going to connect my markings to serve as a guide for cutting. So guys, that's it. I'll go ahead and cut before inserting this style of design you can see on the dress. So follow me closely. Let's cut. So guys, that's it. Then for the style of design, sorry, I didn't realize that my camera went off. But I'm going to tell you what I did here. On this my neck curve line, I went in by half an inch, okay? Then on the underbust line, I went in by half an inch. Then from this my waist point, I went up by half an inch, okay? Then I connected my markings. So I will now go ahead and cut. So guys, that's it. You can see how perfect it came out. We now move over to the back panel. The first thing is to draw a line as my baseline. Then I'm going to take out my zipper allowance and I'm using 1 inch for my zipper allowance. I will mark and draw the line. Then the next thing is to get my neck curve and I'm using 3 inches for my neck width and 1 inch for my neck depth. I'm going to connect like so. Then I will take my shoulder measurement divided by 2. I will mark it. Then I will go down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. I will mark it and connect it to the neck width like so. Then I will get my armhole depth just the same way we did on the front part of the dress. I will mark it and I'm going to connect it like this. Then I will draw a horizontal line from those points as my chest line. And I will come down by 10 inches for my bust line. And I will come down by 16.5 inches for my waistline. Then I will add half an inch for joining allowance. I will mark and draw the lines. I will take my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. I will mark it. And I will connect it to the joining allowance line like so. Then the next thing is to get my dart. So on the waistline, I'm going to go in by half an inch here and go out by half an inch to form a dart. Then I'm going to extend this my bust point by 1 inch like so. Then I'm going to connect like so. Then on the chest line, I'm going to take my bust measurement divided by 4. I will mark it. Then I'm going to connect it to the neck width to create that halter effect. Then I'll go ahead and take my horizontal measurement. On the chest line, I will add 2 inches for joining allowance. On the bust line, I'm going to take my bust measurement divided by 4. I will add 2 inches for joining allowance. On the waistline, I'm going to take my waist measurement divided by 4. I'm going to replace this dart intake here, plus 2 inches for joining allowance. I will mark it and mark the same thing on the joining allowance line. Then I'm going to connect my markings to serve as a guide for cutting. Then on the waistline, I'm going to go in by half an inch from those points. This is to remove any form of bulginess on the waist area. I will mark and I will connect like so. Then I'm going to go ahead and put my zipper allowance and I'm using 1 inch there. So I'm going to mark like so and connect my markings. So guys, this is it for the back panel. It is that simple. We'll now go ahead and cut. So guys, this is it. Then for the turtleneck, I'm going to measure my neck curves for the front part and back part. And for the front part, I have about 9 inches there. Then for the back part, I have also 9 inches, okay? For the two sides, including the zipper allowance. So altogether, I have 18 inches. So I'm going to use 18 inches to cut out the cape for the turtleneck. So I've gone ahead to cut out the cape using the measurement. So I'm going to fold it like so. The first thing is to draw a line as my baseline. Then from those points, okay, this should be at the center of the dress, okay, this part, because it is folded. So I'm going to go down by 1/2 inch, okay. Then I'm going to get the midpoint of this my baseline. I will mark it and I'm going to connect it like so. Then for the length of the cape, I'm using 2 inches, okay. So on this my midpoint, okay, I will start taking my measurement like so. From this 1/2 inch I went downward, and I will carry on like so. Then I'll go ahead and cut. This part is the part that will be joined on the neck curve of the dress, okay? Then I will continue cutting. So this is it. Please, if you are transferring this on your fabric, please add 1/2 inch joining allowance for the upper part and for the down part, okay? Then while joining, you are going to start at the center of the dress, okay? So guys, this is it. And this is all I have for you for today. If you found this tutorial helpful, please subscribe, comment, like, and share. See you in my next video. Bye.